Oh, hey, how you guys doing? Welcome to the Game Dojo. It's your boy, the Game Ninja. You know where we are. No need necessary to show you around my beautiful, beloved Game Dojo. Uh, I was busting that new Nintendo Switch too. This John is awesome. It's funny because it got me to thinking about, how we got here. Just how we got here to this fine ass system. And then it made me think about gaming in the whole space of how things have changed. Turn off my jaw and redock it for a quick second. Oh man, tell you guys, it's been a while. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. You guys are welcome here. You guys is family. You ain't no longer guests. The year was 1996. And in 1996, people sort of dressed like this. There was some suspenders. There may have been clocks with the wrong time on them. A lot, some Eddie Bowers people were rocking. Clinton had been reelected for a second term. Dolly the sheep had been successfully cloned. So all that stuff we watched in Jurassic Park years before now came to life, that they could really clone things. It was an amazing year. The songs was hot. The summers were even hotter. The movies, they was okay. But I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the game changer for a little company called Nintendo. You see, just a decade prior, Nintendo had come out with the Nintendo Entertainment System. I got it right there. This thing is on lock. Let me unlock this real quick. Okay. I got it right there. Chilling on my computer with the old screen. I also got the 5, 6 years later, they came out with the Super Nintendo. Not even that much. I'd say probably about 4 or 5 years. They came out with the Super Nintendo. And the Super Nintendo was a game changer for the Nintendo company. At times when like Sega Genesis, Sega themselves was out there. Panasonic 3DO Real, Neo Geo, which is what a lot of people know, TurboGrafx 16. There were so many things changing in the industry that when the next big boost came, PlayStation, soon that Xbox will be on the rise. CD became the new means and a new term. You had Dreamcast and Saturn and Sega CD and 32X, and it was just a war for graphics and fighting. But around this time, there was one truly undisputed champion of 64-bit graphics, and the name boasted it all over the town. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Nintendo 64. You can hate it or love it, you can try to deny it, but the Nintendo 64 was king. Now I know what you're saying. You got that Nintendo and that Super Nintendo. What about that 64? Well, I'ma lift y'all up real quick and give you a bird's eye view of my game dojo. What is that right there? What is that? Y'all see that? Y'all see what that is? Y'all saw what that was? That was an original Nintendo 64. Not a reproduction, not a recreation, not a prequel, not a sequel, not a reimagining, an original Nintendo 64. With original Nintendo 64 drip. Now this controller, which you could also put the Rumble Pack in, this controller right here, which seems so weird and crazy, there's a lot of different ways to hold it. Some people held it like that, and that's how they played. Some people held it like me, left hand in the middle. That was the trigger, and you could do things. GoldenEye was really good playing like this. But if you were right-handed, that's how you had it. That's the trigger. That was the one analog we had. And if you wanted to use the C buttons or anything else, left of the equator, you see how your thumb just reaches the B and the A. But if you wanted to use the C buttons, you had to let the hand go to use the C buttons, which means you would have to change this grip right here to the center so that you could reutilize the C buttons in the A and B, and you'd have to use your left thumbstick, making you ambidextrous when it came to gameplay. Now, this is what the controller looked like. This is what the games look like. This right here, this is WrestleMania 2000. In-box with manuals and plastic. This right here, this is my baby. And woo, ain't she bad. Telling you, this right here, you don't know how many nights, how many tournaments, how many fights, how many times that belt changed hands that you could create. This right here, this was the apex of video game wrestling in the 90s. And let me tell you something, there were a lot of games that came along that had contendership. This one not being my absolute favorite, but I know what you're wondering. You're saying, so, Game Ninja, what was your favorite? Well, I can show you better than I can tell you. So this was the weapon of choice when battling. This is what games look like. And I'll just show you, opening up the box real quick. See, I got that one there. That's right. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. This is called a cartridge. Now, a lot of you don't know what a cartridge is. This is a cartridge. To make it simple, it's a microchip embedded on a little motherboard that feeds into the cartridge slot on that motherboard, and the two, once they're connected, make a synergy. And what's on this goes on to what's on that, and it turns onto what's on that, the gigantic TV screen. And then that's when the magic happens. Gaming. So this little cartridge changed the world, because this was truly the first 64-bit system. For real, for real. No play. So I tell you what, guys, let me familiarize you with what the Nintendo 64 actually did. Stay right there. Welcome back. Sorry, I had to flip the bill around so that we get gameplay mode. And this right here, ladies and jelly spoons, this bag right here, this magic bag of goodies is where the goodness resides. And you may be asking, what's in the box? Well, if this right here don't tell you what's going on underneath the hood, let me show you, man. By the way, that was Return of the Dragon, Bruce Lee. I'd like some Chinese spare ribs. Chinese spare ribs, sir. You mean to tell me you don't know what Chinese spare ribs are? Well, let me show you, man. You wouldn't have got it. You had to be there. So, what's in the box? That is the Nintendo 64 drip. I know what you're saying. What is all that? Well, this, ladies and jelly spoons, are cartridges. Tons and tons of cartridges for the Nintendo 64. And that is where my drip is hidden. And it is there that my kung fu is strongest. So ladies and jelly spoons, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm going to take you on a visual trip of just what it was like back in 1996 when this beautiful piece of technology hit the markets and the streets. Now, it was somewhere around August in Japan when it came out, but it was September over here. across the pond in the States, making this the new Christmas wish. I was one of them, absolutely. So let me take a little bit of this and a little bit of this, and we're gonna dive into just what Nintendo 64 is. I actually have a program on my computer suited to this occasion, because you've seen me play these games 1,000 times over there on the Nintendo 64. But to showcase it, to give you an example right there on demand, well, that's something different. So I want you guys to sit back and relax with your favorite bag of snacks and get ready for these nostalgia soundtracks, because this is Nintendo 64, and while out there may be 2025, in here it's closer to 1995, because Nintendo 64 is about to arrive. A whole lot of magic. And as always, you have a co-pilot seat right here in the Game Dojo with your boy, the Game Ninja. So let's get to it. Enough talk. Gaming is where we're called. Gaming is where we're served. Gaming is where we gonna play. Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. All right, ladies and jelly spoons, for the purposes of today's lesson in Classic Games 101, the Nintendo 64, we will be utilizing the ES-DS to showcase just what the Nintendo 64. Now, if you see like this little thing right here, it literally just tells you. Oh, now go back up. The Nintendo 64, named for its 64-bit central processing unit, it was released in June 1996 in Japan. I said August, that was close enough. September 1996, I was spot on, North America. March 1997 in Europe and Australia, September 1997 and December 1997 in Brazil. As part of the 5th generation of gaming, the N64 competed primarily with the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn. The Nintendo 64 was launched with 3 games: Super Mario 64, Pilot Wings, released worldwide, and the Sakuhabo Shogi, released only in Japan. While the Nintendo 64 was succeeded by Nintendo's mini DVD-based GameCube in November 2001, Nintendo 64 consoles remained available until the system was retired in 2003. Now I know what you're saying. You said we came to get to some gaming. Oh, we came to get to some gaming. So I'm going to take you through some of this. What you're looking at right now is GoldenEye. This is The World Is Not Enough. So take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me. This was the sequel to the popular hit 007 GoldenEye. So I'm going to take you through just a few games and a few acid trips so that you guys get to see the drip of the Nintendo 64. I want you guys to chill, relax, and enjoy yourself, because I control the airwaves. .1080 snowboarding is what you just saw. What you just saw in my hands that I pulled out the case. We gonna move on from there to another one. All right, we got some imports as well. When it came to the Nintendo 64, they were not limited by region, not limited by locks, not limited by, only thing that they had was imagination, and their imagination spanned the globe all over Europe, Asia, probably Afghanistan. Literally every place that a Nintendo 64 could be bought, there were creation teams creating games. I'm going to shut up for a little bit and let you just enjoy a few of these drips. Oh, by the way, somebody just said, can you zoom in? You want to zoom in? What about that? How you like that? How you like them apples? Somebody said, can you go back to that GoldenEye? That wasn't GoldenEye. That was 007 World Is Not Enough. But if you want me to hit it back real quick, I can hit it back for you. I could definitely hit it back for you. You want to see some of that drip in real life? I got you. There you go, baby. Ladies and jelly spoons. Let's move on to another game. Now I know what you're saying. It seemed like a pretty good system. It's because it was. It don't seem like it. It was a great system. Nintendo 64 is probably one of my favorite classic gaming systems ever invented. And right now, you're going to see why. This is Aerial Gauge. Cutting edge technology and brand new graphics actually changed the entire market when it came to the actual Nintendo 64. And I'm zipping around back and forth here, but I'm gonna let you see a lot of great things. Aiden is probably one of the first real RPGs that I played, and I absolutely loved it. Kind of think of like Gauntlet meets Zelda, which Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were also on the Nintendo 64. Absolute bangers when it comes down to Zelda series. Like Nintendo 64 was hitting on all cylinders on all platforms. And I don't know if you ever heard of Aiden or ever played it, but this game is actually awesome. The first Mage is actually really awesome. And then you had Air Borders. I'll let you check out some Air Borders too. You see how much easier this is than me blowing on cartridges and popping them in and out? I get to showcase everything for you right here, right there at the press of a button. That's kind of why I like this infrastructure, because it showcases the best of Nintendo 64 from like a PowerPoint perspective. You got All-Star Tennis, which if you were into tennis, there were some pretty nice tennis games. I'm still trying to figure tennis out. I don't know about love and all that other stuff. I mean, I don't know what a squunch is either when it comes to playing, what's that, John? Rugby. All-Star Baseball, another top buster, gang buster when it comes to Nintendo 64. Look at these graphics. So if you was into sports, if you was into action, if you was into role playing, Nintendo 64 has something for everybody. Literally everybody. Literally, Nintendo 64 was that place for everybody. Now, I know what you're saying. Did you really go and download all these videos just so that you could show? I may have, but I am the game ninja. You know what I'm saying? This is Armor Wings. Check this out. If you're a fan of Starship Troopers, you definitely want to check out Armor Wings. Arachnids and Colonial Marines. This is right up your alley. Armorines. Then you got Army Men, air combat. Like, you don't understand. And then I like the little things like the green cartridge that they made for the Nintendo 64, or the gold cartridge, or the black cartridge for Killer Instinct, or when it came to Zelda, like I said, that gold cartridge, like the red cartridge for Carnage, Spider-Man Carnage. I do like the little details they put in when it came to literally manufacturing Nintendo 64 games. That's the green cartridge, as you saw. And then they have Army Men Sarge's Heroes, which is if you wanted a tabletop experience. These Army Men games were actually pretty hot. Before they became popularized in Toy Story, the Army Men games, I actually love playing these things because it made me feel like I was miniaturized, and it's like real combat. It's every bit as strong as like Call of Duty. It's just, you know, animated people. Now look at this. This is Asteroids. This is a 64-bit 3D version of that old arcade game back in the day, Asteroids. This is just showcasing graphics and talent at this point. So if you was old school, they got some of your old school games popped up on here. And racing games galore. This is around the time that PlayStation had Need for Speed. So racing simulations were always trying to outdo each other. But Lamborghini, Beetle Racing, Cruising USA, Cruising Exotica, all those racing games, they were all absolutely amazing. Amazing in the arcade, amazing on the home console. And then you have the Banjo series. You have Banjo-Kazooie. These are all on the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch expansion pass right now. So you have Banjo-Kazooie, and then you have Banjo-Tooie. Believe it or not, it's an exciting franchise to jump into. You want fishing? How about Bass Hunter? Yeah, a little something for everybody. Like I said. All right, now I'm not going to sit here and go through all the games for you because that would be insane. But I am going to showcase some of... This is what I was talking about when I said Beetle Adventure Racing. See what I'm saying? You definitely get a Need for Speed 1 vibe from this on PlayStation 1. Yeah. I'm going to showcase a bunch of them for you. Big Mountain was another cool one. Like I said, if I can go through all of them, we'll be here all day long. So I'm not going to keep you all day long with all these games. Blast Corps, this is another game that just came to the Nintendo Switch. Body Harvest, Bomberman 64, Bomberman Hero, Bottom of the Ninth, tons of baseball games. Buck Bumble. If you don't know what Buck Bundle is, this game, just for the soundtrack, Buck Bumble, when this game first comes on, you should hear the rap that plays. Perfect 90s. This sums up 90s in almost every way. Only thing missing is an Arizona iced tea and maybe some pack of Skittles or tropical fruit Bubblicious chilling in the corner. That's right, man. And then you have Bust a Move. I ain't gonna make you go through that. You have California Speed, another racing game. Carmageddon. Carmageddon is along the lines of Twisted Metal. So kind of think horror, kind of think zombie apocalypse with Twisted Metal. Yeah, so that's what Carmageddon was. Castlevania, believe it or not, was amazing on the Nintendo 64. There was a few Castlevania games that were absolutely amazing. And look at the graphics. Look at the cleanliness. Like, Nintendo 64 gets slept on a lot of time when it comes to graphics, but Nintendo 64 was no slouch in that department. This is the Legacy of Darkness. There was a different Castlevania. Like I said, they had a few Castlevanias on the Nintendo 64, and they were absolutely amazing. I actually like doing it this way. I wish I could do this with all my games, but they don't have like setups like this for all of them. Clay Fighters, another game I used to play way back in the day. Command and Conquer, Conquer's Bad Fur Day. Like, I don't know if y'all ever played Conquer games. Conquer games are absolutely insane. They also had some Gex that came from Panasonic 3DO Real. They had some Gex games on here too. Like I said, Cruis'n Exotica. This is the arcade classic. If you ever played this in the arcade, Cruis'n Exotica. They had Cruis'n USA. If you don't, look at this. Perfect. This looks exactly like the way it did in the arcade, except for you don't have a steering wheel and you're not sitting back there, you know what I'm saying, enjoying it. I mean, I have a steering wheel and I can actually map that steering wheel to this game. So I can map the steering wheel. Then they had Cruis'n World. The Cruis'n series is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to playing games. They just made a Cruis'n game not too long ago, like a few years ago, for the Nintendo Switch. So like I said, Cyber Typer, that's the Tiger Woods, if you ever wanted to play Tiger Woods golf. Like I said, they got a little something for everybody. Looney Tunes, and they have tons of games. Their back catalog of games is amazing. Diddy Kong Racing for those Mario Kart fanatics. And believe it or not, that's Conker from Bad Fur Day right here in Diddy Kong Racing. What you know about Diddy Kong Racing? This is the good Diddy, not the bad Diddy. This is the good Diddy. Donkey Kong 64. I didn't like this game too much, but I don't really like Donkey Kong. Like, I know that seems like a sin, me being a Nintendo fan, but me and Donkey Kong, we have had fights going back from the first Mario Kart. Well, when it was me and DK Jr., we ain't got no problems. Me and Donkey Kong, we got problems. Look at the graphics on this. This is Doom 64. Look at the graphics on this, yo. Look at this. This is phenomenal. Look at this. So they had maturity when it came down to it as well. Dr. Mario. This is Dragon Ball Kart. I'll let you see a little bit of Dragon Ball Kart since y'all here. I know you're like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, there were some aftermarket Nintendo 64 cartridges and games that were made specifically independent programs. Some of them were clones of Mario Kart, Dragon Ball Kart being one of them. You have Dual Heroes. Dual Heroes is an excellent fighting game if you've never played it. Absolutely amazing. Kind of think along the lines of Virtua Fighter. Like I said, something for everybody. Duke Nukem. Like, have you ever played a Duke Nukem game? Like, this is as close as you can get to like 64-bit 3D Narc on Nintendo. Have you ever played Narc on Nintendo? Kind of think if they took Narc and blended it together with Doom. Like I said, it's got a ton of things. Earthworm Jim, They had ECW, Hardcore Revolution. Now, remember I was talking earlier about wrestling. Wrestling was big on the Nintendo 64. If there was a wrestling company, they made a wrestling game. Excitebike 64. Excitebike became a 3D motorcycle representation. Not the Excitebike you remember from the Nintendo Entertainment System. This is a whole other phenomenon. Nothing like Excitebike from back in the day, except for the fact that you got bicycles and you racing on the track. But like I said, completely different. Extreme G. Now this game came along and it was kind of like F-Zero on a Super Nintendo, except for these are futuristic bikes on a futuristic track. And the soundtrack and the design made this instantly a classic amongst game collectors and Nintendo 64 aficionados. This right here was absolutely amazing. And when you went ballistic and hit them speed bursts, it felt like you hit nitrous in a Too Fast and Too Furious movie. Absolutely amazing. Extreme G, definitely one of the best. They had Extreme G2, where they polished the graphics and came up to the second wave. This one was all right. I prefer the first one over 2. I may be alone dying on that hill. It just looked like they try to outdo themselves. You got the F1 World Grand Prix. For those interested in Formula One racing, you have F-Zero, the continuation. And the 3D polygon graphics literally were 64-bit. Other systems during this time claimed to be 64-bit, but the only true 64-bit system was Nintendo. I mean, other games could reach it with certain things, but Nintendo 64 was just there. FIFA, if you ever wanted to play soccer, they had the FIFA games here. So, like I said, if you were there was something for everybody. It's impossible. And like I said, I'm just going through these games. Now I'm all the way up to F. Fighter's Destiny. So if you wanted to, you like your Street Fighter, your Tekken, your Virtua Fighter clones, like they had a ton of games. Some original, some clones, but the games were absolutely amazing. Fighter's Destiny, Fighting Force. Fighting Force is pretty much, if you ever played Die Hard Arcade back in the day, that's kind of what Fighting Force feels like, just in a full 3D 64-bit setting. Don't pretend I didn't see the 18 van. I saw the 18 van. Now, Flying Dragon. It's kind of hard to say what Flying Dragon is. It's Virtua Fighter. Forsaken. I don't know if you guys ever played Forsaken. Forsaken is an amazing game franchise. I wish they would bring this back, and I wish they would make next-gen versions of these games. Some of these games on Nintendo 64 are absolutely amazing. Now, I'm saying, why haven't these games made it over to the Nintendo Switch online? Like I was telling y'all back in my other video, like 2K wasn't the only people who made games. Like, this is Fox Sports. Like, now everything is 2K. 2K Wrestling, 2K Basketball, Madden Football, 2K, like everything is 2K, and they seems like they have a monopoly on it. But back in the day, there were other games and other companies that literally played these. I don't know if you guys ever played Gasp. Hurry up, time going out. All right, Gauntlet Legends, absolutely an amazing game. If you've never been into Gauntlet as the series, I would highly recommend just trying to jump in this and check this out, just from an adventurer perspective. It has a lot of elements from a lot of different, very important franchises at the time. Like I said, there's a lot of imports as well. There's something for everybody. Remember I told you Gex was on here?
Somebody tell Jackie Brown I found her hat.
You have Gex.
Somebody tell Jackie Brown I found her hat.
You had Enter the Gecko, Gex 64. You had Glover, which I was never really into the Hamburger Helper Glove game, but I know a lot of my friends who told me I would like it if I mess with it. So maybe one of these days I'll get into Glover, but I never really did it. Golden Nugget, like if you into like gambling and like casino type games.
Player stays. Player 2, 9. Player hits. 19. Player stays. Player 3, 9. Player hits.
Like I said, and this is the GoldenEye. This is the game that started the first-person franchise. There would be no first-person shooters if it wasn't for this game. GoldenEye, and it still holds up today. The graphics may be dated, but the gameplay, the fun factor, and the modes, the 00 agent and the multiplayer modes in here, absolutely amazing. Bar none. Phenomenal. This game still is amazing to play. They just made a remastered version on different game systems, but this one right here will always be the original. Ladies and gentlemen, salute GoldenEye. This game, oh my God, you don't have no idea what you would have today without this system. Like I said, the Nintendo 64, Harvest Moon 64, like you don't know what Nintendo 64 accomplished in the realm of gaming. There's a reason why the system is being remade and there's HD versions of it and people are still out here collecting it. There's a reason why, because just the versatile game compilation alone, there are so many types of games, so much to do. I mean, Hexen, if you ever played Doom, try Hexen. Try Hexen. It's like an arcade Doom. Like I said, guys, you got Hey You Pikachu. Oh yeah, the Pokemon games are here. They also have Pokemon Stadium. The Pokemon games are always on Nintendo consoles. The Nintendo 64 is no different. You got Holy Magic. Holy Magic, I just started playing this. I just got into this. Konami made it. I'm actually really liking the turn-based fighting system and the RPG gameplay of this. Now, can it beat 7,000 Year Door? Probably not. You got your Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. I know you heard the new Turbo Racing that they had. This one was more in a toy aspect of it, and the new one does benefit from graphics. I'm not gonna lie, but as a racing game, you can't beat that. Hybrid Heaven. Do you know what Hybrid Heaven is? Yes, ladies and jelly spoons. Like I said, I could take you through every single last one of them, but I'm not going to. Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Why did it have to be snakes? Why snakes? Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dude, Superstar Soccer. They have so many different type of soccer games, not just FIFA. But like I said, back then, it wasn't one company making games. You had hundreds and hundreds of companies getting in to make these games. Track and Field. I know y'all can go all the way back to the original Nintendo Entertainment System for Track and Field. Look at this. Look at these graphics. Absolutely. Like I said, you don't know. Jeopardy. Like, there's something here for everybody. For everybody, there's something here. everybody. No matter what your flavor is, they have something for you. Jet Force Gemini, don't even get me started. Have you ever played Jet Force Gemini? Do you know what Jet Force Gemini is? There would be no Savage Planet without Jet Force Gemini. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is the frontier. This is the gaming frontier.
Strike.
This is the gaming frontier. And of course, Killer Instinct Gold. Come on, Maya. Don't take that line down. Where them combos at, Maya? Whew. Kirby 64, Crystal Shards. Yes, the Kirby games are here too. Every Nintendo franchise is represented. Every first party Nintendo franchise is represented on the 64. If there was a company making games, 90% of those companies had a game for the 64. Knife Edge, Knockout Kings, for the boxing aficionado. They had George Foreman KO boxing. We had it all. Kobe Bryant courtside. Remember how I always say, got to keep that game tight like Kobe on game night? Mamba was and is and will always be the legend. Lego racers, if you want to do into Lego racing. I remember I was working at a place and they had a Pollyanna and somebody got me Lego racers for a game for the Pollyanna where I was working. That lets you know, even back in this day, I was working. Brother was working. Star Fox. Like, look at this. Look at these graphics.
Hey, I'll take it. Get the one behind me.
Nintendo 64 was that place to be. It was. Mace the Dark Ages. What you know about Mace the Dark Ages? Like I said, you have no idea. Madden 64. How many of y'all knew Madden was going on back then? You see Ricky Waters? Yeah, this is a little bit different from the Maddens y'all have nowadays, but the fun factor was here. Injuring somebody in a little ambulance coming onto the field, like, it was out here.
It's batted down, incomplete.
Y'all have no idea. You have no idea. And there's tons of Maddens on here. You got Tetris Challenge with Mickey Mouse. Like I said, there is literally something for everybody. You want to mess around with that Mario Golf? Now, Mario Golf Gold Rush, the new one on the Switch, is nothing like this. This is a fun form of golf. Gold Rush is real golf. You have to really know wind, mechanics, and everything else. And then, of course, this is what the system was known for. This is my world right here. This is where I live. This is that Mario Kart 64. Dun, 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 dun. Although we never gonna pick Luigi in this game. That's a no-no. Mario Kart 64. Do y'all understand the love and time and effort? Like I said, the Mario parties on here. Do you know the Mario parties that are on here? Yo, don't get me started. Mario Party, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Mario Tennis, like... But you best believe with the Nintendo 64 and Mario being its icon, Mario was represented everywhere. Don't play. Mario was represented everywhere. Mega Man 64. How many of y'all knew there was a Mega Man 64? See, y'all thought you know, but I'm taking you to school today. Ding, ding, school is in. I'm taking y'all back to the 90s. That's what I'm saying, man. Y'all have no idea. Another soccer game. Manchester United, the greatest football team in the whole land. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Mickey Speedway, Mickey's take, Disney's take at a Mario Kart event. Oh yeah, they out here. They are out here. Y'all see, I'm only going through a fraction of games for y'all. Micro Machines. You remember you played, what's that, RC Pro-Am back in the day? Kind of think of Micro Machines as the same way. They playing on a pool table. My man just gunned it over Ace of Spades. And then you got the greatest arcades. Look at this. Joust. You could bust Joust. They have the greatest arcades, Volume 1. Like, come on, dude. Strike Zone. Another baseball game. There were so many sports games. Mischief Makers. Mission Impossible. I didn't like this over GoldenEye, but it was still something to play. Dun 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 dun. You have Monaco Racing Simulator. Yeah, so they did have some good racing sims too in here. Who would have thought so many small cartridges could give you so much fun? You ever wanted to play Virtual Monopoly? Play it with up to 4 people, 4 controllers at the same time. Like I said, Monster Truck Madness. There's something for everybody on the Nintendo 64. I can't state that enough. I can't state it enough. Mortal Kombat 4. Whoa, Nintendo! He said, ow, my leg, even though his arm got broken. That's always been funny to me. Oh yeah, they out here. Y'all think? Now, I could talk about Sub-Zero mythologies, but I never want to speak about this game. I never want this game to be part of if this is on the Mortal Kombat Special Edition, I am going to be angry. This better not have made it into their collection. Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Yes, Nintendo did have mature content, guys. I know what you're thinking. They even had they took it back and do Pac-Man. So you got Sega franchises, you got Atari franchises on Nintendo. Everybody had games on the Nintendo 64. Dude. Smack it with a stick. 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 Put a stick in her ear. Stick in the ear. Stick in the ear. Stick in the ear. Y'all know that about it. Winter Olympics. You see my boy Frozone out here throwing the ice. Dude, Namco Museum. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, you don't know. NASCAR. Yes, they have NASCAR for you Daytona fans. If you are a fan of Daytona racing, yes, they have NASCAR 99, Courtside 2 with Kobe Bryant. You can see the graphics get better. NBA Hang Time, which basically is a bomb version of NBA Jam. Probably one of the best versions of NBA Jam ever.
Raise it up. Nicely done. The steal. Raises up. That's high. He's heating up.
Recognize it? He's heating up. That's because the makers was behind this game too.
Fires the jumper.
Puts up a brick. No good. 4-2. Y'all don't understand what I try to tell you. In the Zone, another basketball game. Like I said, so many companies. NBA Jam 2000. Now it's funny because the game I just showed you is closer to NBA Jam than the actual NBA Jam game. That's insane. NBA Jam 99.
He passes. A stunning defensive play.
Yeah. NBA Live 2000. NBA Live 99, Pro 98. Like I said, so many companies got in on the sports and gaming. Like, if you ever had gaming in your heart, if you ever had sports, if you ever want to play basketball, you're going to play football, soccer, Blitz the League. Like, there's so many sports games that will tickle your fancy if you are on the Nintendo 64. And like I said, I know it's harder to find, I know it's harder to get, but let's just say if you're able to emulate it, you could still play these games. It's a cheaper alternative. I don't really recommend it, but you know, it beats a blank if you want to get your gaming fix in. And I know how hard that can be sometimes. Sometimes you want to get that fix in. NHL, like, remember I just said that? Look, they got hockey, NHL 98, 99, NHL Pros, Breakaway, EA Sports 99. Like, EA Sports, it's in the game. Like I said, Nightmare Creatures. You ever bust Nightmare Creatures? Bro. Nuclear Strike. I'm just buzzing through a lot of these because like I said, I could stop on all of these and show you all of these. Paper Mario. You don't understand of the thousands hours. I would never recommend this Paperboy to anybody. If you played the original Paperboy, stick to the original Paperboy. This right here, this is no. This is no. I will say that is the only game that is a no for me when it comes to Nintendo 64. Penny Racers. Perfect Dark. Following on the heels of GoldenEye, Perfect Dark is an amazing first-person shooter. Another reason why you wouldn't have Halo, you wouldn't have Call of Duty. Like, these games were the grandfathers and the forefront, literally the frontier of gaming. You wouldn't have these if these games didn't exist. You can thank Nintendo 64 for that. But like I said, there is, I can't overstate it enough. Pilot Wings, this is one of the games that the system premiered with. And this game gets to be very taxing and very trying too. It's not as easy as it looks. Pokemon Puzzle League, yes, they got that on here too. Like I said, Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Stadium.
Here's a Pokemon thing. Oh, it's Clefairy. It has to make up for lost.
Clefairy, I choose you.
What's that? What, Loki?
Psyduck just lit that ass on fire. That's what happened. Pokemon Stadium 2. Polaris Snowcross. You want a snowmobile challenge? You want to race on some snowmobiles? 64 got you. Now remember, we talking about one system. You want to play the Power Rangers? Go right ahead. I ain't gonna say it's necessarily that good, but you can play the Power Rangers. Premier Manager, like, come on. Like, Quake. You ever played Quake? Once again, if you're a fan of Doom, try Quake 64. Like I said, there's a reason they got Quake 2. Dude, there's too much to name when it comes to the Nintendo 64. And almost all of them are great times. That's because they cared enough back then to put fun factor in these games. The graphics, the fun factor, there's so much they put into these games. And it's just a shame that during the test of time, like, game makers have fallen off. There's not as many game makers making games. Everybody's just jumping together on 1 or 2 games. The fun factor is almost completely gone. Campaigns are like 7-8 hours long. They're no longer 40 hours long. And Resident Evil 2, the impossible port, made its way to the Nintendo 64. Do you understand, at the time, Resident Evil was only on PlayStation? To shrink that whole game down onto a 64-bit cart, even with an expansion pack, was almost impossible to do. But they did it, and even put things on this version that's not on the PlayStation version. And this version, believe it or not, still sits with customers and has like almost a 100% customer rating. Yeah, Resident Evil, it was on Nintendo. They see, I'm trying to tell y'all this. Y'all don't be thinking I could go through the Ridge Racers. I'm not gonna do that. Road Rash, you know what Road Rash is, Roadsters. And ours. So I'm trying to get through this list in under less than an hour, but I'm just going to, like, matter of fact, I'm just gonna randomly just pick a few games and just show you and shut the hell up, so you could just watch like a sizzle reel.
Watch the wheel go. Well done. You got some extra points.
He's on the fairway.
Scorpion Deathlock.
G. I'd like to buy a vowel. E.
In a tough spot now. 2 words for you. That's smart. I can't believe he threw him that far.
Now, did I tell you or did I not tell you that Nintendo 64 is an incomprehensible system when it comes to games, gaming, versatility, and graphics and fun factor? Like, this thing is witchcraft, and even 2025 today, the Nintendo 64 is still alive. Look at, and that's not even all the games. That's not even all the games. I cut that down and trimmed it down. That's not even all the games. If we went through the entire list of games, it would probably be like a 3-4 hour video. But as I said before, when it comes to video gaming, when it comes to platforms, when it comes to doing it the best, Nintendo has never left a fan behind. And when it comes to one of the greatest old school consoles in the world, bar none, arguably, the Nintendo 64 holds its own. Because of this little dream machine, so many franchises that exist today owe their lineage, their heritage, and their starts on the little system that could, the Nintendo 64. Thank you, ladies and jelly spoons, for joining the Game Ninja for a comprehensive look on the Nintendo 64. So I'm going to grab my boomerang controller, I'm going to grab my box, and I'm going to put my system on lock. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it may be 2025 out there, but the Nintendo 64 is still alive. And a new HD version of it is getting ready to come out now that people are ordering. So the Nintendo 64, though may have been discontinued in 2002 or 3, in 2025, it's still alive. That's the impact that systems like the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 2 had on the gaming industry. That over 35 and 40 years later, their games are still sought after, still played, and still enjoyed by gamers. Including this gamer. Till next time, next gameplay, next round, I'll see you, ladies and jelly spoons, in the gameplay. It's been the Game Ninja Power Hour with the Ring of Power. Can't be sour. Till next time, keep that game tight like Kobe did on game night. Your game is on and it's strong. Don't ever forget that. I'll see you guys next time in the gameplay. Nintendo 64. Who's the master?